The centre on May 1st announced Lockdown 3.0, which will continue till May 17. This is the third extension of the nationwide lockdown, which was enforced on March 24 to fight the coronavirus. According to the Union Home Ministry, there have been tremendous gains and improvements in the COVID-19 situation due to the lockdown till now. But the third phase of the lockdown is different from the last two. It not only aims at fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, but it also aims at getting the business and economy back on track. And there has also been relaxation of the restriction in the third version of the lockdown. The restriction does not mean that you get to have a haircut from your neighborhood salon unless you happen to stay in the green or an orange zone.
That's right.
But there are relaxations, including the one that has generated a lot of buzz. The opening of liquor and tobacco shops in green and orange zones, as well as outside the containment areas in the red zone. Now the question comes, what are these zones? The entire country has been color-coded into red, orange and green zones. Rules are strictest in the red zones and get progressively easier in orange and green zones. 319 districts have been added in the green zones, while another 284 districts are in the orange zone. There have been a considerable easing of restriction in the red zones too, which comprise of 130 districts. But irrespective of all zones, there are several activities which are prohibited throughout the country. Travel by air, rail, metro, interstate movement by road, running of schools, colleges and other educational and training institutions, hospitality services including hotels and restaurants, places of large public gatherings such as cinema halls, religious places, sports complexes, etc. are still prohibited. Movement of individuals for all non-essential activities shall remain strictly prohibited between 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. In all zones, persons above 65 years of age, persons with comorbidities, pregnant women, and children below the age of 10 shall stay at home except for meeting essential requirements and for health purposes. But there are certain activities which are allowed in all zones. Outpatient departments and medical clinics shall be permitted to operate in red, orange and green zones with social distancing norms and other safety precautions. However, this will not be permitted within the containment zones. All goods traffic is to be permitted and no state or union territory shall stop the movement of cargo for cross-land border trade under treaties with neighboring countries. Now the question comes, what are the activities that one can do and that are restricted in the zones across the country? In the red zones outside the containment area, certain activities are prohibited in addition to those prohibited throughout the country. These are flying of cycle rickshaws and auto rickshaws, running of taxis and cab aggregators, intra-district and inner-district flying of buses and barber shops, spas and saloons. But there are certain activities which are allowed in the red zones with strict restrictions. Movement of individuals and vehicles is allowed only for permitted activities with a maximum of 2 persons in 4-wheelers and no pillion rider in case of 2-wheelers. Shops in urban areas for non-essential goods are not allowed in malls, markets and market complexes. However, all standalone shops in the residential complexes are permitted to remain open in urban areas without any distinction of essential and non-essentials. Industrial establishment in urban areas like special economic zones, export-oriented units, industrial estates and industrial township with access control have been permitted. Private offices can operate with up to 33% strength as per requirement, with remaining persons working from home. When you come to orange zone, taxis and cab aggregators will be permitted with 1 driver and 1 passenger only. Inter-district movements of individuals and vehicles will be allowed for permitted activities. 4-wheeler vehicles will have maximum 2 passengers besides the driver, and pillion riding will be allowed on 2-wheelers in these zones. In green zones, all activities are permitted except the limited number of activities that are prohibited throughout the countries irrespective of the zones. Buses can operate with up to 50% seating capacity and bus depots can operate up to 50% capacity. Liquor shops, pawn shops will be allowed to function in green zones while ensuring a maximum of 6 feet distance from each other and ensuring that not more than 5 persons are present at one time at a shop. Let's hope with the extension of the lockdown, the COVID-19 curve flattens in our country and the business as well as the Indian economy gets back on track.